Vi skal møde en kvinde fra England, der hedder Denitsa Mihova. And Denitsa, it might be pushing it to the limit to introduce you as a real Bond babe. But I am afraid that you are the nearest we get to that thing around here. So welcome to you, Denitsa. Look at all the devices she's got here. In a second or two, she's going to fly around the room and give her lecture from there. Welcome to you, Denitsa Mihova.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, good morning. Thank you for the kind introduction, Hans. I don't mind being called a Bond girl.
Okay.
My name is Denitsa and I work for VisitBritain in London. I work on film tourism and I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me to this lovely city of Silkeborg. Before I start, I just wanted to say that last night I saw the program and I realized that my slot has been given to me just before lunch, and I realize I'm the only thing that keeps you away from your lunch. So I'll try to be brief. But this morning, in the next half an hour, I'll give you a presentation on film tourism and how VisitBritain promotes Britain through films, and also share with you my experience working on our latest film tourism campaign around the new James Bond film Skyfall. You're all in the tourism industry, so you've probably heard of VisitBritain, but just to briefly introduce who VisitBritain are. We are the national tourism agency for Britain. We are marketing Britain overseas, and we're developing Britain's visitors' economy. We are a government agency, and we are funded by the Department for Culture, Media and Sport. Film tourism. The link between film and tourism is a very powerful one. We have been working on film tourism for the past 15 years, around films like Braveheart, Notting Hill, most recently around Harry Potter, Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood. To illustrate the success of film tourism, I've chosen 3 examples for you. The first one is Alice in Wonderland. It was filmed at an 18th century Cornish mansion in Cornwall, in England. And the visitors to this mansion quadrupled from 25,000 to 100,000 visitors. Pirates of the Caribbean was shot at a location in London, Old Royal Naval College. And the visitors to the college increased by 13% after people have seen the film. Sorry. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. And Harry Potter, you've all heard about Harry Potter, big franchise. Alnwick Castle saw visitors increased by 230% from... Oops. Is that okay? Or did I just destroy it? I think I might have. Thank you. Okay, that's better, I guess. So these were just 3 examples of film tourism successes around 3 major films. But we have to choose the right film. The success of a film tourism partnership is really with choosing the right film. That's really important, and to be able to boost film tourism in this way, the way that you saw attractions having such success and increase in visitor numbers, we have to choose the right film. So we have set up criteria that we use, and these are some of the main ones. It's really important for us to have physical locations in Britain, so the film to be shot on a location, so people can be inspired to go and visit these locations. Positive, varied depiction of Britain. You all know that there are some edgy and grungy films that are filmed in Britain, such as the Guy Ritchie films, Rock and Roller, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, or Trainspotting. But let's not despair. We also have epic tales such as Braveheart, or literary heroes such as Sherlock Holmes. Heritage, culture and literature are also huge triggers for people to visit Britain. Films in these sectors are very important for us as well. If the film is internationally recognized, that always helps. For example, with Bond, everyone knows that Bond is British, even if the last movie, Quantum of Solace, the one before Skyfall, was actually shot in Panama. The movie needs to have a regional spread. For us in Britain, we have the remit to promote Scotland, Wales, England, London, so a regional spread for the film to be shot at different locations in those countries is really key for us. For example, Sherlock Holmes was shot in London, Liverpool and Manchester, so we were able to have a good regional spread. Skyfall was filmed in England and Scotland, so a very important regional spread again for us. And also we, by choosing the right film, we'd like to encourage the consumer to reconsider Britain, to use surprising elements, to show them a different side of Britain, something interesting, exciting, to engage with all the film fans around the world. We started with a movie map. The first movie map that VisitBritain developed was in 1996, and the map featured 60 years of British film and TV. But we have now embraced the digital world, the world of mobile marketing, social media, and we have developed our first British film locations iPhone app. So we've moved on from the print maps to embrace the digital era. Skyfall film locations were featured on our British Film Locations app. It's a free app that people can download from iTunes. It has over 100,000 downloads, so it's a really popular app. It was featured in iTunes top 10 is one of the best travel apps. So mobile marketing and social media are something that VisitBritain embraces and is keen to develop further. Over the last few years, we've been lucky and we've been able to work with 3 of the major film studios. We've worked with Sony Pictures around Bond. We've worked with Warner Brothers around Sherlock Holmes, and Universal Pictures around the release of Robin Hood. It's really key for us, because it's a partnership, to have the right partnership with the right film studio. Sherlock Holmes, we developed a campaign in 2008. We launched a global marketing campaign around the release of Sherlock Holmes. Central to the promotion was a competition prize. We had a global competition for the chance to win a trip to Britain and experience the home of Sherlock Holmes. We had exclusive experiences, and people had a chance to visit film locations in London, Liverpool and Manchester. We had a global marketing campaign in 2011 around the release of Robin Hood. Central was again a competition prize, a global money can buy prize for the chance to win a trip to Britain and experience the home of Robin Hood. A prize included a banquet with the Sheriff of Nottingham. He does exist, actually. It also included an archery lesson, a private archery lesson at Sherwood Forest. It generated over 4 million worth of coverage, and in New Zealand it was hailed as the best response ever to a competition prize. We know that competition prizes do work. They're a chance to capture data, to be able to communicate in an engaging way, for a chance to win a trip to the destination, and ultimately you inspire people to come and visit that destination, in this case Nottingham and Britain. We also extended the partnership because it was so successful, and we decided to work closely with Experience Nottinghamshire, which is the regional tourist board for Nottingham, and together with Universal Pictures we had an exhibition at Sherwood Forest and Nottingham Castle. We worked closely with the official Universal movie set designer, and we had costumes from the movie at these two locations. And of course that was very successful because we used our partnership with Universal. We used two very popular locations in Nottingham with an obvious link to the Robin Hood tale, and these attractions actually managed to increase visits, and visits to Sherwood Forest, for example, increased by 5.5%. So you can see how we're extending the partnership, working with regional tourist boards, and boosting the tourism in the region. We also decided to work on the DVD. That's also a way of extending the partnership, and if it's a successful one, when the DVD comes out and you have all the assets, the marketing, the creative already set up, it's a good way of reactivating the campaign. So we did that, and we had a Britain insert in 705,000 DVD cases in 11 markets around the world. So you've heard about Sherlock Holmes, Robin Hood. Our latest film tourism campaign is around Skyfall. It is the latest James Bond film, and we're actually in the middle of the campaign at the moment. You're one of the first people that I present this campaign to externally. The campaign follows our so-called Great Campaign. The Great Campaign is a major part of our broader British government initiative to show the world that Britain is a great place to visit, to live, to invest, and to do business with. Key themes include countryside, culture, shopping, sport, music, and food. So we do campaigns around these key themes. So all of our marketing and all of our creative follows the same look and feel, and it's part of the Great Campaign. So it all started like this. The world saw Bond at the opening ceremony of the London 2012 Olympics. He was escorting the Queen. He even jumped off a helicopter with Her Majesty. But our love affair with Britain's most famous secret agent started way back. VisitBritain partnered with Sony Pictures in 2008, and we had a global marketing campaign around the release of Quantum of Solace. we were able to develop 11 million pounds of PR coverage and 6 million of advertising value equivalent for Britain and partners involved. Following the success, we decided, well, let's do it again. Skyfall is out, let's start a conversation and repeat the success. So that's what we did. We partnered with Sony Pictures and MGM in some markets. Conversations and negotiations started way back last year, September last year. So it takes quite a good few months to develop a global marketing campaign around film and tourism, and in this case especially Bond, because it's such a well-known and recognizable brand. From March until now we have been busy with the global campaign delivery. We've been writing proposals, we've been working on the creative, we've been working on approvals with Sony Pictures, the relevant parties. We've worked on buying the best media, and last but not least, we've been ensuring that the contract between VisitBritain and Sony Pictures is of the best interest to us. The promotion is running in all the VisitBritain markets. We have 21 markets overseas. Denmark is one of them. We have an office here in Denmark, in Copenhagen. So why this partnership? Why did we partner with Sony Pictures? Bond is an iconic British character. It's recognizable overseas. It's an icon. Also, our research shows that 40% of potential visitors to Britain would be very likely to visit places seen in films. So that means 1 in 10 people. Also, 70% of moviegoers say they are actually Bond fans, and I was quite pleased to see so many hands raised for people who have seen James Bond, actually. Skyfall will be shown in 600 cinemas across the world in 130 countries, so you can imagine the reach. And also, our research, actually a research from the British Film Institute and Pinewood Films, shows that 2.1 billion of visitor spend a year is attributable to UK film. So you can see why this partnership, it was a no-brainer for us. Like any partnership, we set up objectives we would like to achieve. We'd like to showcase new, dynamic and modern Britain brand. We'd like to expand the reach of the Great campaign. We'd like to highlight movie locations, increase PR and social media for Britain. Data capture is really key for us. We have 1.9 million people on our database, and we communicate with them monthly. We work alongside other Skyfall partners. We've worked with Aston Martin, with Coca-Cola, Globetrotter, and ultimately our campaign aims to increase visitor numbers and spend to Britain. How do we do that? The list here shows you all the marketing channels that we've used in order to be able to achieve all this. And that's through cinema, out-of-home billboards, digital, social media, TV, print, radio, and mobile. And of course, PR. PR is really important for us, and it's the best and cost-effective way to increase the image and the perception of a destination. Now let's look at all the activities that we've done to promote Britain, to achieve our objectives through these channels that I just mentioned. Visit Britain developed its first film tourism cinema ad. We have it live actually at the moment in 4 markets, 6 cities. That's in Australia, in Brazil, Germany, and the USA. And I'd like to play the ad now so you can get more inspiration. It's a 30-second ad, and we developed it in closely working with Sony Pictures. The ad celebrates the 50th anniversary of James Bond, which is this year, and also, of course, the release of Skyfall. So you can see Bond is not looking bad for a 50-year-old. We used out-of-home advertising, and we had a digital billboard ad in LA. You can see it here on the streets of LA. We had a digital experience on on social media and on our digital channels. It's called Agent UK, and it's a digital experience with a gaming element, so people could play the game. They could find secret locations in Britain. They could pretend they're secret agents, and for the chance to win the ultimate trip to Britain, with the chance to drive an Aston Martin, go on top of the Shard, which is the latest attraction in London. You get on the top of this really tall building in London, and really for the chance to visit the home of Bond and be inspired to experience it in a different way, really. The digital experience has been really successful. It has over 810,000 viewers, and we've been able to boost our database because it has had 36% of the people who played the game. They also signed up to our newsletters, so that was really important for us. We used all of our channels to push the Agent UK game, digital experience, and it was the first time that Visit Britain has used all of our channels. It's a fully integrated digital experience, and you can see an example of its promotion on our Facebook channel, Love UK. You can see it here on Twitter, through our eCRM, and we've also developed the cinema ad into a video. So we've used a video seeding as a marketing tool to be able to play the video where people are looking for Skyfall or Bond-related content, and it's actually been going viral. We're really pleased with the success of it, and we translated it in 7 languages. So we've been seeding it through websites in all those languages. I know on this slide it says 4.6 million, but last night, just out of curiosity, I checked, and it's actually 4.8 now. I put together the presentation on Friday, and really pleased to see that over the weekend it's even had 200,000 views. So It definitely works for us, and the link between Bond and Britain, the celebration of the 50th anniversary, it's definitely something that viewers engage with and definitely like. Central to our film tourism campaign is also a competition prize, a global money can buy prize, very similar to the Sherlock Holmes, the Robin Hood example that I mentioned to you. It's a global money can buy prize promoted in all of our 21 markets. We put together this money can buy prize, which includes exclusive experiences. For example, people have the chance to visit Aston Martin's headquarters for a private tour. People have the chance to visit Skyfall film locations like Old Royal Naval College or National Gallery. They have the chance to climb on top of the O2, which is a very Bond-inspired experience, because it was featured in the Bond film The World Is Not Enough. And the Shard, the tallest building in London that I mentioned to you. So we put this package together, basically, this prize package. And we work locally with Sony Pictures in all of our markets. They choose media channels and they promote it. It could be through TV, it could be through radio, print, etc. So you can see here a few examples of the promotion. You can see the example in Italy. It's a print ad in Corriere dello Sport. You can see an example in Sweden. We worked with Coca-Cola on point of sale promotion. In Spain we used Discovery Channel, so we had a TV ad. We also developed a Skyfall preview screening. It was an event we held in the center of London at the Mayfair Theatre. We invited media, travel trade partners. We had about 120 guests coming to experience our exclusive preview screening. A good way to engage with your partners and the media, of course. We have been really impressed with the coverage that we've been able to generate. It's been phenomenal, and we've had, you can see some of the headlines here, the corporate ones, but the destination coverage as well has been really positive for us. You can see on the top right corner an Italian publication, how to experience Britain in a day and live like a Bond girl, basically. We put together itineraries for people, how to live like Bond, live the Bond lifestyle. We organized press trips, we had features, and we were able to basically develop a corporate and destination coverage for Visit Britain and for the Britain brand. We've also had destination broadcast coverage, and this is an example in Entertainment Tonight in Canada. But it's not just about our success and how we've made this film tourism campaign our biggest so far. It's also about the success of Skyfall. Sony Pictures have been enjoying the success of Skyfall. It's been the biggest Bond opening. The Skyfall opening weekend was the biggest Bond opening. It was #1 everywhere. 76% bigger than Casino Royale, which was the first film where Daniel Craig starred as Bond. And the global box office total has been £327 million, which is an astonishing number, and the Sony Pictures are definitely pleased with that. And you can see some nice words from our friend It's from at Sony, because it's a partnership. It's a 50-50 deal. So it's not just about the success of Visit Britain or tourism or the Britain brand, but it's also about the movie. I mentioned that it's the 50th year anniversary this year, so we teamed up with 20th Century Fox, who own the rights for the 50th anniversary box set. So we provided them with 2 competition prizes, and we had a digital campaign on Yahoo Movies in September. So again, another way of extending the partnership to celebrate the 50th anniversary of James Bond. Thank you very much.
Any questions for Denitsa? Yes?
Very concrete question. You talked about a win-win situation between Sony and Visit Britain. But what about money-wise? I mean, have you had to pay for this access to the movies, or have they provided this, seeing the win-win that you're talking about?
The partnership with Sony Pictures is a non-commercial partnership. So there is no money exchange. They provide official movie artwork, official assets, clips, images from the film, and we promote it through our channels. So they get the exposure. So it's a win-win situation in terms of they give us the assets, we give them the exposure.
You talked about the partnership with other partners to Bond, like Aston Martin and so forth. Does the same go for that, or are some money involved in that kind of partnership? Are they paying for advertising that you can benefit from?
The additional Skyfall partners came on board because they are a Skyfall partner, and Visit Britain is an official Skyfall partner. So we meet up regularly before the film is out, and we discuss how each one is planning to work on Skyfall and promote the film. So we do talk about our marketing campaigns and how we can work together. But it's again on a non-commercial basis. They helped us to provide an exclusive access to the Aston Martin headquarters, and in return we promote them through our channels. And if you've noticed, the Aston Martin car was in the cinema ad, the Aston Martin car was on the billboard in LA, so they get the exposure, and we get the exclusive experiences or exclusive assets from them. It could be images as well.
How do you organize the regional interest in the film industry? For example, Yorkshire, which we know from a lot of TV series and so on. Have you organized a regional company system that can support film production as well as television production? Tourism matters too.
We promote the destination through the film. However, we don't have the remit to promote more films coming to Britain and filming in Britain. That's done by another agency called Film London, or if you're talking about regional, it's a British Film Institute. So what we do is the marketing, the consumer side of things. So when we talk about consumer promotions around the release of a film, we do work with regional tourist boards. And the example that I gave on Robin Hood, that's we worked in partnership with Experience Nottinghamshire, who are the regional tourist board in Nottingham, it's something that we always have at the back of our mind when there is an obvious link with a regional board or with a region. Bond is a British icon, so the filming locations were London, a bit outside of London, England and Scotland. So we did work with Visit Scotland on the PR side. They put together press trip, itineraries, etc. So we do extend the consumer promotions to other regions and destinations.
If I may add a question, will we see the day when Visit Britain takes up the phone and calls Sony and tells them, we would like Cornwall to be promoted next. It was Scotland last time. What about Cornwall next time? Could we find out something?
We'd love to do that.
Yeah.
We'd love to. We haven't been able to influence film studios so far, but it's something that we'd love to do.
Yeah.
And be also at the end of the film, you know, when you have all the actors and everything to have. Yeah, that would be nice.
Because I actually noticed when I saw the film Skyfall, I noticed that it was these scenes from Scotland, very scenic scenes, very beautiful scenes, who were priceless.
But Visit Scotland have not been influencing Sony and Skyfall,
no, I know,
unfortunately.
No, it was good for Scotland.
Amazing. They love it. Depends on the film, really. With Bond is liked by female, male, young, elderly. It's such a broad audience, and there was no specific target group. But for other films, I know, for example, on the film Brave, which was out this summer, Visit Scotland were specifically targeting families and families with young kids, so the target group was obvious there. So it really depends on the film.
I'm from small Danish authors. I've read that there is a TV series called Forbrydelsen in Denmark, which is called The Killings in England. Should be very popular.
I've heard of it, yes.
We make packages that the English people could come to Denmark and get killed.
Well,
good point.
Remember my slide on the criteria? It was positive, varied image of Britain. So you have to tick all the boxes within that criteria slide. So if it's not a positive depiction of Denmark, I would definitely not recommend it.
But you've got a point. I read in the paper the other day that the rather well-known English paper, The Guardian, during the weekend actually had a translation guide to Danish expressions because the series is so popular in England. So that's a start. So, yeah, I might say that. Denitsa Mihova, thank you very much. It was very interesting. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mette Elmgaard. I work as a project manager in Filmby, Aarhus. And I promised Tina to do this in English, so I will. With the mic and everything, I'll try. Huh? Yeah, well, is it okay in English? Because now I've prepared it in English, and yeah, I hope you get it. Filmby Aarhus is the regional film center of the north and central regions of Denmark. A regional film center that supports the development and production of film, TV, cross-media, and facilitates the development of talent and business in our area. Yeah, and exciting to hear about how the film and tourist industry can benefit from each other in London and England. In Denmark, we are not quite there yet. Okay. I would like to thank MidtjyskTurisme for listening and for bringing film and media tourism to the agenda in this lovely setting today, and also for collaborating on the handbook on film tourism that we called Experience Films in Real Life, or in Danish, Film skal ses i virkeligheden. I have 4 minutes to tell you a little bit about it before lunch.
Take your time.
Yeah. So, why did we do this? One, to put film and media tourism on the agenda. Two, to gather inspiration and ideas on how to exploit the potential of a film or TV shoot in an area. Three, to strengthen the collaboration between the tourist industry and the film industry. And I really believe there's some unused potential in the crossfield between the two right now in Denmark. And four, in the long term, to create growth and more jobs. We know for a fact that film is a good investment for a destination. We just got a report back that shows that if the West Danish Film Fund invests, it's this one, invests 1 kroner in a film production, the money will come back 3.9 times in local spend, as accommodation, hotel, food for the film crew, car renting, payment of local crew, local craftsmen, etc. So it's not only a chance to do something fun, film is a good investment. And who's this handbook for? It's the target group for this is the DMOs, and the organizations behind it is MidtjyskTurisme, Visit Nordjylland, and Filmby Aarhus, who has an EU project called North Sea Screen Partners right now. What did we do? We didn't want to publish an academic report. We wanted to make an easy way into this topic. So we put together some practical and very hands-on advice on what to do and what to be aware of if you should be so lucky that a film or TV shoot comes your way. And this part of the handbook is called the Toolbox and is structured by 3 phases. What can you do as a DMO before the production arrives in your area, and what can you do during the shooting, and what can you do after the shooting is done. And the handbook also contains 3 cases that shows what others have done, and some articles and interviews that goes a bit deeper. In Denmark, the tourist industry and the film industry right now, they don't speak the same language and they don't meet naturally. And as the regional film center, I think that we can take this moderating and building bridge role while we're in this process of getting the 2 industries to meet and to figure out more about how they can support and benefit from each other. And we will love to do this, but we are depending on your support and participation in this. And Sebastian Christoffersen, who is sitting right there, raise your hand. And I did this handbook together with an agency called Seismonaut, and I think they're here today as well. We'll be here, so say hi, stop by, ask questions, and you can get a copy of the handbook. It's available in English and Danish. And thank you for listening.